Oh, y'all remember him? Black Panther, safeguard replies, safeguard replace. That dumb shit.
No ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's gonna happen. They touch.
I did my homework, man. Boy is an agent. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. He tried to infiltrate the Pyro.
Interview we did 2 weeks ago with a protester. He talked about protesters in Portland being taken in unmarked vehicles by agents. But during the interview, he talks about gangs in Lansing.
You come try to snatch one of us, the rest of us gonna blast your. You better do that while we not with each other. And then you come to in Sandhurst with the Pyros and the gangster disciples is linked up at and try to snatch somebody over there. I dare you. To make sure you get this in Sandhurst, that's SANDHURST. Come over there and try to take somebody.
This guy is an agent, man. I called it and y'all motherfuckers be mad at me. Yo, anything black, man, yo. Cause y'all motherfuckers never been through nothing. And I'm happy y'all never been through nothing or seen nothing. But y'all don't know how to read the room. Y'all don't know how to read the room. This is clear as day. I said it before any information came out. I knew something was off with this guy. He's an agent. They did the same thing to Fred Hampton and a lot of other black leaders, man. This man he's a product of chaos. He's a product of chaos. More and more the truth gonna come out. He's an agent. This guy is an agent.
Hey, we've been saying it through the Spirit, even what the Lord put in the Spirit, Apostle Tahar to name this year, the year of agents, apostates, agents by apostates, and something else I can't remember. But we've been saying this for a long time. The Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Green Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto thy foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, fellow woman in Hebrew, which means peace. Yeah, there's a lot of course, we're in a, I think I did a show about this maybe a week ago or something like that. It was another guy, I don't know what this guy was at. He had a yellow shirt, talking about some shit. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. You know, he was talking that buku shit, like he was gonna do something, but it was in the fact that, you know, it was just off. I think he had a t-shirt on, but he was supposed to be in Minneapolis. I forgot, but it was another show that I did. Matter of fact, what am I talking about? We're just gonna look it up. I could do that much. So I'm going here, boom, boom, boom. I was looking at that. My videos. Where is it? Where is it? All right, so I do, I do a lot, but, there's a lot of information out there. Jeez, wasn't that long. They'll pop up. I don't know if, I just probably gotta look at the name. There it is. Beware of agents' activity in this one right here. And this one, I don't know where this guy was at. Oh, he didn't have a shirt. He had a hoodie on. But he was suspect like a mother sucker. All right. Oh, this was 8 days ago. He was suspect like a motherfucker. So here you are. You have these agitators walking around amongst the people, using real life situations and to antagonize the people to do something that they normally won't do. And let's be realistic. It's human nature, can you believe it now? To be peaceful. they need to be pushed to the breaking point. I don't know how true it is. I'm just because I'm trying to look it up. But I always, when you watch those old movies and like the old medieval times, when they're about to go to war, like the last thing they want to do, the very last thing they want to do. So how it goes like this: the king has an army, but the army is not quite his. It's his noblemen. So each nobleman has a particular amount of men, soldiers, but they all go to the king, and the king could use the army as ever he wants. But the last resort that they always do is called the fury. So just looking at things like what is this? And call the fury, and every time they call the fury, it was always the peasants. That's what the fury is. They used to come with pork fish. Yeah, they used to come with farm tools and so forth. They're like the reserve of the reserve, and to get them involved, they're not quite soldiers, but it's like an anger. They summon the fury. That's what they call. So what did I bring that up for? Oh yeah. So you have the peasants that are being pissed off because of what the government is doing. Now here's the flip side. So the government itself is provoking the people, and it wants a reaction. So the reaction that they want is a reaction where they get to go and they come down as, matter of fact, let me go there. Yeah, I did that video. That's crazy. And I seen that the guy's face keep popping up because you're gonna see a lot more recurring actors in this thing. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. So which was last year, when they decided to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. So they say we no longer are going to be. That's what they said. We're no longer going to defend in a defensive mode. We're more in attacking mode. This fits perfectly this particular scripture. All right. So the fury, the peasants, is going to have to go against the actual government, which is backwards. Because what's happening right now, the government is supposed to protect the people from outside invasion, but they themselves are the agitators in pushing the people to result in this, to get involved in this current state, this current war. Is having great wrath because he knows that he have but a short time. So they diabolically is doing this. So they finding people to willing to, actors willing to put themselves on the line. When people call this shit, ain't not gonna happen because the people are stupid. All right, that's when you go to it's in Acts 17:5, I believe. Let me get this real quick. It says what it says. But the Jews which believe not moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the base sort, and gathered a company, and set all the city on an uproar. Yeah, this is perfect. and assaulted the house of Jason. So when you go to the word lewd, full of laborers, annoyances, hardship. Let me see if I'm saying it correctly, and let me look at the definition.
Annoyance.
Annoyance, we all know what that is. The feeling or state of being annoyed, irritation. So the people are more agitated. The people are already on edge, right? You're already on edge. The common folk, all of us on edge, trying to figure out, how can I pay my bills? Am I going to lose my job? All right. Why do I have to walk around with all these IDs? Are they going to come after me? Then if it's not going to affect you, you're worrying about the next person, right? And this is before this man did all this stuff. The main thing that they did was they adding more to the affliction of the people. So it takes something that everybody is feeling and being the devils that they are, then heightened the feel. All right, that's what the scripture says. I'm just going to quote it. Psalm 64:6, that they search our diligent search. Oh, sorry. Matter of fact, I gotta get it because it's not. It just says it, but I don't think it's 6. They search our diligent search, a diligent search. And their heart is deep, right? When we can read this, it says, oppressed, harassed by labors, being toils, annoyances, perils of a time full of peril to the Christian faith, a steadfastness causing pain and trouble, bad of bad nature, a condition, and the physical disease. And we all know a person that if something happens, instead of it's like cooling it down, they just add to the equation, right? We all know it. We all got somebody that we know we related to somebody, or we just know somebody you went to school with. They just something about them. They get into the scene and they just say the dumbest shit possible. And instead of making it easy, it make things a lot difficult. So this is what was going on during the time of Paul. So the lewdness, it said lewd fellows of the base sort, those are the sellouts of the bunch. All right, these are the street niggas. Let's be frank. A nigga's easy to be bought. Straight up. Back in the days, you give a nigga a box of Newport. And so Mad Dog 2020, he would sell out his mother. Let me stop playing. But a nigga would do something vile just because that's, they just want to be a part of something. Listen, we all majority of us from the hood, we already know somebody. All right. We already know somebody that does things. That's why the scripture I'm thinking of said about jesting. Like the whole situation with this guy, Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels, which is straight up is all fucking fake. But they both are just the lowest form of a nigga that just got money. That's all they are. So instead of just dying it down and men being men, and then Corey Holcomb is in his 50s and Anton Daniels in his 40s, some shit like that. And acting like they want to fight each other, this, that, to the third. And then now Corey Holcomb bring out a picture of this man's family, his daughter, talking mad shit, talking about his woman. This is like real niggerish shit. So these are the niggas that they will sell out easily. They low. They don't believe in what we believe in. They treat thy brother as thyself. They don't believe in that. Treat that neighbor as thyself. They don't take the low. Be humble. They don't believe in that shit. So Esau, there ain't no difference. Esau will go and find the lowest of the low amongst Jake and give him a couple few dollars to start shit up. And that's exactly what's happening. All right. You got spies, you got agents, you got people that work for the FBI, you got just people that's an open vessel or vassal for Satan himself. Because Jake hold no integrity. All right. Jake holds no integrity at all. Jeremiah 9:4. So it says, take ye heed every man of his neighbor, and trust ye not in a brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And you know, Jake liked to talk. Jake loved talking. But did you see what that person got over there? And this, that, and shit that got nothing to do with nothing. Niggas like talking. They tell you about talebearers. Not to do that. Also tells you, I'm just going to quote some scriptures, not to follow the multitude doing evil. Because you have people that's their job. Their job is just to get around people and just find that certain emotion. You know, either A, bringing some doubt into it, or B, push people to a breaking point with no other. Those are the vessels that Satan can use. All right. Now remember, when when Yahushua was in the scene, he had all the 12. They were not schoolboys and nothing. You could literally say they're from the streets. They're just from the streets of Galilee. They're from you know the toughness of those areas. Some were more street level, you could say. Some were more other levels, but they all come from different various of life. Okay, you had Simon the Zealot. Judas was a zealot. Who else? Who else was a zealot? Oh, I'm just trying to remember. But the Lord had certain men around him. We all read about when Peter sliced off one of the Pharisees' men, one of his ears off. So they was strapped. They was on edge. They was everything. So the Lord always had a different crowd. Not everybody's, bookworm or whatever, however you want to call it. The terminology of today is a nerd or whatever. There was always men from different various of life. But overall, all our people, despite the different various of life, a lot of them didn't have the proper etiquette. All right. There were a lot of sellouts amongst the people. That's when you go to First Maccabees, it tells you. All right. Some people just for value, finances. So these are the things that you owe the Lord consistently have shown us in history of our history as a nation and our personal lives to watch everyone. Okay? It says, and they shall deceive everyone his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and worry themselves commit iniquity. So they taught themselves to speak lies. They know how to, we all know niggas that fucking lie like they experts in lying. I had a cousin, real backstory, but I love my cousin. No, he passed. He was always a part of my life when I was growing up. But he would tell the truth. He would tell a story, right? He was there. But every time you hear the story always changes. So it's not no longer truth anymore. It's more of a lie, but he designed it to make it more fresh, to make it more to make it more appeasing, you know. And it still hits the same way. After a while, you hear it. It's like, he's making this shit up. You know, that's just a small, minute thing, but it's something. That's what Jake do. Jake is known for saying things and doing certain things. So in our surroundings, you gotta be mindful of every single person. Now, the way Esau does things, he been take the lowest of us. That's why the scripture says, St. John 8:44. And now throughout our history, so-called black men, who took out majority of our quote-unquote heroes, were other black men, even though we know that they were set up. All right, meaning they were sent by the powers that be, but was those faces that look like our faces that took our people out. It says, St. John 8:44, ye your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, speaketh of his own, for he's a liar and the father of it. So that's what the Lord was talking about, his own people. And the climax back then, it was intensity, consistently, because we was being occupied by a foreign nation. What Israel is going through today, right now, when I mean Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, what you're going through right now is a small inkling of what was done at that time of when the Lord was in the scene. All right, that's why the scripture says, Matthew 24. Is it Matthew 24? Is that about the generations? Oh no, it's Matthew's 12:9, I believe. Salakia, what the Spirit says. Not 12:9, 12:16. Nope. When I do it, let me see something. Well, this is a good one. This is not what I was looking for. Let me just get it. Generation 12:39. Oh, so I was right. Let me read this one instead. Matthew 16:4. It says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh for a sign, and there shall no sign be. That I was looking for, actually. It says that, but it says, well, maybe that's why I'm thinking the wrong thing. Basically, all the things that's happening right now is the same generation. Well, maybe it was Luke. Salakia. I'm getting my thing all matched up. These things happen. Luke 21:20. Okay. These be the days of vengeance. Well, it's in the realm of it. Maybe I mixed it up. But we're being compassed. Matter of fact, Luke 21:20. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. So that was a clue that the end was coming. All right. It was personal. This wasn't a random attack. it was a personal attack that was being displayed. The personal attack was the fact that the Romans were pissed. First of all, when you go into the history, the Romans did not like Jerusalem. They didn't like to occupy that space. They thought it was backwards and this, that, to the third. They did not like the so-called Jews. Well, that's what they were called, right? Which were Judah, Benjamin, Levi. They didn't like being there. When you watch the movie Clarence, the Book of Clarence, give you a little depiction, okay? And you got to see the way you got to read this when you read the scriptures about the different governors, because Pontius Pilate was he was ending his tour over there, and when his woman said she had dreams about Yahushua, don't go and get involved. So he had to, once he finished his tour, he had to somebody else to take his place. If I'm not mistaken, after Pontius Pilate, let me see if I can remember. Was this Festus? But yeah, so these are the governors that there wasn't in Jerusalem, there was in Syria. That was the headquarters. But they always had to maintain what was going on around the area. Hold on, let me see. That go into something different. So they did not like to be around Jake. They didn't like us at all. So when that time came of them coming down hard on us with more oppression, it wasn't by accident. This is why Paul said what he said. That the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Because the Romans were those people. Okay? Oh shit. When you watch the movie Book of Clarence, it showed you, right? How there was policing Jake back then. So when the Lord said, like, okay, you're already surrounded by armies, but when you see an army surround you around your way, then you know that the destruction is coming near. So the same spirit that was back then is the same spirit that's going on now. That's the difference. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he's a man of his word. So he's using wicked ass Jake to start something to get you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans to be agitated, and everybody's gonna get caught up with their emotions. All right. When you watch, what movie was that? I forgot. It was Passion of Christ, and the scene when he was being judged, Pontius Pilate and the people was going crazy. If you paid attention to that scene, the demon Satan, they showed like a man that was walking around everybody, just walking like everybody, and what he was doing, he was feeding them the instructions. He was feeding into their, they was in that spirit. So when you have agents like this guy, check that video out if you didn't. And this guy, okay.
Oh, y'all remember him, Black Panther?
When you got guys like this, their job is to push you. Now there was
I guarantee you they won't. I put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace.
So what did you just do right there? You laugh. Everybody laughed. And he's using jingles. He's using something that everybody's familiar with. He's using a movement that everybody's familiar with. If I'm not mistaken, I seen an Instagram saying that guy he's not even part of the Black Panthers. So why are they reviving these old failed systems? Because these are the things that triggers the mind of the people. When you think of Black Panthers, which the same guy, he did another video I seen talking about the Black Panthers chapter, they had different chapters, and then come to find out, they accepted everybody. And this is where they faltered at. And then one of the guys he was Japanese, and he was a fucking agent himself. So the whole movement was infiltrated. That shit was just a CIA operative. Okay, maybe it was formed genuinely, and he got taken over. So he's using terminology, he's using old things to make people comfortable, to make people when you want to be part of it because, oh, you heard about it. And you know what? This is all 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. All of it. Because the same thing that happened 7 years ago, all right, with, I forgot the name of the group, but it was another Jake, no beard in his face, walking around with a gun. And he was, damn, if I could get this thing before, I don't want to do another video with it. Because I want to, so I forgot the name of the other thing, but I'm going to find it, Lord willing. So what he was using right here, he was using something that people, street niggas know. Bloods and Crips. So all these mother effers that was in that scene with him, they all could be agents, yo. All right? He's using the color. He's using the terminology. So there he's wearing all red. He's supposed to represent blood. All right? And the other, he's wearing all black. And he's reviving an old thing that people are comfortable with. All right? You gotta watch for these niggas, yo. Okay? Everybody's a suspect to further notice. Just the way the Lord did it. But it is a lesson that the Lord's trying to teach. Okay? Don't believe your eyes. Scripture says, as soon as I can remember the other thing, I'll bring it out. If I can't, Lord forgive me. It was a movement. It was walking around with guns, AK-47s and all this other shit. Scripture says, is it 7 or 6? I believe it's 6. And it says, yep. And find what I was looking for. Sirach 6 and 6, or 6 and 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. Be not hasty to credit him. For some men is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Why? Because a lot of these guys are going to push you into trouble. Scripture says not to be with a brawling man. Right? Or what's Sirach 8 chapter about a fool and his lips. Don't heap up into don't add wood into his fire, because he's going to get you into something that you can't get out of. It said there's a friend who being turned to enmity, that's indifferent. It says again, some friends is a company at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction, but in prosperity he will be as thyself and will bold over thy servants. When you read the scriptures, this is like a manual of life, a manual book of life. All right. First of all, you all know never trust our enemy. You can't have anybody around you. All right. Be very cautious about your circle. And if you have a true friend, that's a heaven sent. That's what the scripture says. 2 Ezra 8:51. Find one is like thyself. So yeah, we all have, we all come in this thing. We all supposed to come in this thing of ours to serve Yahweh Shai. That's it. That's what we have in common. All right. But other than the extra activities, if a quote unquote brother talks some crazy shit, we all talk crazy. That's between us. But if they talking on some crazy shit like something to be done, like certain characters that was around us at the time, nah, a guy like that, especially in these times, nope, stay away. All right. This guy, like you see, he has a beard in his face. He represent, he revived the old organization. Why can't I think of this other shit? The guy had no beard. He was walking around. There was marching, and it was wearing all black. You know why I can't remember it? Because was it fuck around something? God damn it, it's gonna bother me. Hold on. I had to dig a little bit, and it take that long. All right, this is the character. Now I remember. Anybody that the NFAC official statement from Grandmaster J. So check out the wordplay. Grandmaster J. That's one Grandmaster. Master of what? Right? That's an Illuminati term. Then there's also a familiar term for black people and is a former rapper. Right? Well, he was a DJ actually. He was the DJ for Run DMC. So that was one. Then they got another familiar things. Yo, everything is, you got to pick everything up. They all were in black. They were all wearing black. And the time that they came was a perfect time. And it was called Not Fucking Around Coalition. I remember this. I thought it was longer than this, not 5 years ago. And they came out, I believe, after the George Floyd shit. And 7 years. Okay, 7 years in prison. And he was walking around with guns and everything like that. And they did the same shit, bro. They did the same fucking thing. So he gets sentenced, right? And oh, damn, he had the ties with, who was it? Was it Trump? What's his name? He had ties with somebody. It's an old thing. I'm trying to say I put Trump, but it could be somebody else. I did this on purpose. Okay, let me see something. Master J, because he was all suited up. Yo, you damn near could find anything. No, not when he was in court. He was talking all political and everything like this. Is prior to this whole shit. I did that on purpose to see what I was gonna say, but I can't remember. But he had a connection with somebody higher up, right? Those military records and has a message. The slanderers. No. Either I think he was in the White House or something like that. Let me see something. And what did they do? They fed into the anger that the people was feeling. That's all they did. That's how Satan gets down. He fucks with people's emotions. And if you're a clown, you're easily, which the majority of people in America are easily manipulated because they have no structure. They have no mind of their own. You will follow the crowd and try to be down. All right. All these years that we've been in America has created weak individuals. All these weak individuals, they look for it to get into organizations, to get into gangs. It's like, well, you guys are the same way. No, we have a different calling. At any minute, we could be by ourselves. And we have to maintain what we have to do. I can't find it, but it was he was well suited up, and he was talking politely. He was in, I don't know if it was a show or something like that. Somebody eventually will put it up, normally. But he was an agitator. All right. And like I said, the color, the scheme, the way they moved. Everything they play with your emotions. This is why the law, according to the law, it's a law, all right? It's a law. Follow not, I'm sorry, not fellow. Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to declare after many to rest judgment. So you have a lot of people in the hood that grow up, they just want to be, they hear something, they want to be a part of something. All right. They get excited. You know, back in the day at school, somebody get into fight, everybody like, ooh, you know, they'll irritate the shit and fight. They run to see a fight instead of breaking it up. So when you have that mentality, whoever you following is gonna lead your ass to die. And that's what they're doing. All right? That's exactly what they're doing. So precaution, be very careful. We've ended on like this. 2 Corinthians, I quoted it, but I'm going to get it anyway. 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. So you can't be out here ignorant. You can't be out here foolish. Ignorant to means not to know. And the problem with our people, they don't want to know. Okay? That's why it's a good thing. Like you got, I don't know who that guy was, but he put it out there. He's like, yo, it's that to the third. Because remember, Jake liked to follow. Jake are nothing but followers. Jake is nothing but followers. All right. And they see, oh, the Black Panther's back, and everybody's gonna join. Yeah, we gotta protect everybody. You know, do the most dumbest shit you could possibly think, and all it's doing, you're getting yourself fucked up. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation. Shalom.